Hello humans, it's just Martine, and this week I'm going to try to read for 3 hours every day. The last time I made a video like this, it was during summer break, so my days looked very different than they do now. A lot less busy, I would say. Less meetings, no classes. I was doing less work, to be completely honest. So I think this will be a more realistic challenge, and I might actually not succeed at it. So that's terrifying for me, maybe exciting for you that you don't already know the ending situation. It's Monday, currently 5:47 p.m. I've done an hour of my reading today by reading my Kindle while walking everywhere, basically. Not while I was crossing large, busy streets, but when I had a straight shot sidewalk walk the whole time, wasn't gonna run into anyone. Because I pace while I walk almost always, I am very proficient at reading while walking, especially because on my Kindle, the font is huge, so I don't need to be holding it right in front of my face to see. I can hold it like this and scan my surroundings regardless. So I got about an hour between commuting onto campus, around campus, and eating and all that stuff, which is not a shabby start. I am a little worried though, because today is going to be the easiest weekday of the challenge. It's the only night that I don't have commitments for a large time of night. I mean, I have a book club meeting with some of my friends at 8. Other than that, I don't have any social commitments. Whereas tomorrow I have choir from 6:30 to 8:30 and then a meeting at 9. When am I going to read? You know what I mean? So we'll just have to see. But because I have a book club meeting at 8, I should probably stop yapping and get back to reading. Also, if there are any books I finished that I can tell you about, I will gladly review them, but most of them will be 12 TBR's books, so I won't be able to, unfortunately. But hopefully tonight I'll finish a really long one. It's over 700 pages. I started it last week. Hopefully I'll finish it tonight because I have less than 100 pages left, less than an hour of reading according to Bookly, and I have 2 hours of reading that I still have to do today. So I don't know, seems like it should happen. Update, it's approaching 8 p.m. It's 7:56. So I'm about to have my book club meeting with my friends, but I have reached 2 hours and 19 minutes of reading so far, which means I have 40 minutes left, which is kind of not great because it's going to be 9 p.m. probably by the time that I'm done with book club, which is when I like to be asleep. Realistically though, I've been staying up later recently, so it shouldn't be a problem, but watch this be the night that 40 minutes of reading makes me want to be desperately asleep. And I'll try to update you to prove that I did it, but we'll see. Again, if this is my good day this week, I'm terrified. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Last night I did manage to hit my 3 hours, but I was in bed in the dark when it happened, so I didn't update you. Today is going to be the hardest day of the week for this challenge, I think. I don't know what to expect, but hopefully we can do this. I believe in us. Hello friends, happy Thursday. Oh my goodness, the week is going quickly. I'm here to report that so far every day this week I've hit my 3 hours of reading, which is great. I think the earliest I finished it was on Tuesday because I knew I had a meeting at 9 p.m. and I wouldn't want to read after that. So I was gotta get it done beforehand. So I took some time in the afternoon to work on it. But the main reason that I want to update you is because last night I managed to finish a book that I can actually tell you about, which is The God of the Woods. And I'm giving this book 4 stars. I had a really good time reading it, even though it took me a while to get through it because I was spending most of my time reading for 12 TBRs. This one is kind of historical fiction, commentary on wealth, summer camp vibe, mystery. I would say the main plot of this book is about the disappearance of this girl, Barbara Van Laar. Her parents own the land that this one summer camp, Camp Emerson, is on, and she goes to the camp one summer and goes missing. And what makes this even more distressing is that several years ago, her older brother, Bear Van Laar, went missing and was never found again. So it kind of feels like the pattern is repeating itself and they're trying to figure that out. We jump through time quite a bit and we're following a pretty robust cast of characters, I would say, but I always understood what was happening and I was having a good time, and I think I'm happy with the way this story ended too in all the different plot lines, so that's good. Technically, I was supposed to read this book in September because my friend, Tia, I'll try to remember to link her channel, she started a book club over on the app Fable, and The God in the Woods was the September pick, but I was so behind. So I finished it in late October, and now I also haven't started the October book for that book club, which is Great, it's fine. So I'm glad that that can be out of the way now. It's currently just past 12:30 and I've hit 1 hour of reading for the day so far, so I still have 2 to go. Unsure how this afternoon is going to go because basically last night, well, I guess yesterday afternoon, I started feeling really weird because of my dysautonomia, and I ended up staying in bed for like a large chunk of the late afternoon and evening because I just wasn't feeling good. And you would think that's an optimal time to read, but in fact, one of the symptoms I was feeling was like fatigue and brain fog, so I was having a lot of trouble concentrating on what I was trying to read. Regardless, I got the 3 hours done. I'm still not feeling my best self today. I am feeling better, but I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take this afternoon kind of chill because I had like a meeting this morning and I worked on my thesis for an hour. So I think I'm going to chill for a bit. I have the option of going to Zumba tonight. I haven't gone to Zumba in a very long time and I miss it, but I'm just not sure that it's a safe decision for where my health is right now. Because if just regular standing up is hard enough on my body, like, do I really want to do the most hardcore exercise I've done in weeks? I'm not sure. Regardless, hopefully we'll get some more reading done. I'll update you when anything exciting happens. Oh, speaking of exciting things, look at this little dragon I found on campus. Good times. Okay. Later. Good morning. Happy Sunday. So far, so good. 3 hours every day. So I just have to hit my 3 hours today and I'll have succeeded. But I also finished a book that I can tell you about. So I thought I'd scoot on in and discuss Run by Blake Crouch, which I read as an ARC. Technically, this book is already out, but it's being republished now. It's one of Blake Crouch's earliest works. And I have to say, it showed. I'm giving it 2.5 stars. This is partially my fault. I probably shouldn't have requested this book. It's not really my jam. Then again, the reason that it's not my jam is true of a lot of Blake Crouch books, and I've really enjoyed like the rest of the Blake Crouch books that I've read. So maybe it's not my bad. Because basically the reason that I didn't like this is because it was so action-packed. But that is true of all Blake Crouch books. And what I think the actual problem is that the themes were not necessarily woven well throughout this book. So it was like action with no payoff. Also, like the setup was just less interesting, I think. So I have a lot to say about this. First of all, the theming problems. Usually in a Blake Crouch book, I feel like the theme is like pretty obvious and prevalent throughout, and it ties really strongly to what the action is. In this one, I feel like we had action, and then in the last percent of the book, they shoved the theme in our face, or they tried to. I'm not sure it landed still, but they really tried to hit me over the head in the last percent. And I read the last percent and I was like, oh, this like changed the context of the whole book for me. And I wish I could have read it with this throughout. So that was one of my big problems, because action is fine as long as I feel like it's really serving a purpose. And I feel like in this one, there was so much action and then they tried to make it serve a purpose at the end, or tried to make you understand what purpose it had served all at the end. The next thing is that the setup is just less interesting to me. In the setup of this one, we're following this one particular family. Basically, the idea is that this aurora borealis happened and everybody who saw it is affected, and everybody who did not see it is now being targeted by those who did see it for death. And so we're following this family who did not see it. There was one exception, one of the kids saw it, but this family is running for their lives, which is why it's called Run. They're just trying not to get killed. They're fleeing. So on the one hand, I understand it's hard to integrate themes throughout when you're just fleeing for your life, in the same way that in life, like, you can look back and see the point of something or how you grew in it, but while you're just trying to survive it, you're not sitting here thinking like, what is this doing for my personal growth, you know? So I can understand that. At the same time, I feel like the stakes in other Blake Crouch books have been extremely high, and so like, why couldn't it be handled in the same way as the other Blake Crouch books? And I think other Blake Crouch books also ask questions very specifically that I find more interesting, especially like Recursion, where we're following memory scientists. As a memory scientist, like, that's fascinating to me. There's lots of brain in that one, which I really liked. And this was just like, oh my gosh, they're after us, run. I also like didn't connect to any of the characters. I didn't really care. Like, I can't say I didn't care. Obviously, when bad things happened to them, like, I was like, oh no, that's a bad thing. But I wasn't as invested in them as I wanted to be, is what I'll say. Yeah, it just didn't feel like a Blake Crouch book to me. And I'd be curious to know when other people read it if they feel the same way. I just feel like his writing has evolved. And so, yeah, he's got a particular thing now. And I don't feel like this was that. I have been avoiding reading for long enough today. It's past 11. I'm gonna stop talking to you and go read so that I can finish this 3-hour challenge. Hello, it is almost 7:30 and I've officially hit my 3 hours for the day, which means I succeeded at this challenge. 3 days, every day, Monday through Sunday this week. Heck yeah. I'm really pleased with the reading progress I made this week. I read like 2,400-ish pages across the week. So yeah, there were some days I read more than 3 hours, but most of them were right around 3 hours. This was definitely different than when I did this challenge when I was back at home. Like being at school made it different. But I will say this week, because of my health in the second half of the week, I didn't do as many things outside of the apartment or outside of reading compared to normal still, I would say. For example, I didn't go to some club meetings or Zumba or anything, but it was still definitely a challenge, especially like some of the earlier days this week when I was really busy. With that, I'm going to end this vlog here. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. If you could get one amount of reading done every day for a whole week, what would you want that amount to be? What's your optimal challenge for how long to read every week? And subscribe for more bookish and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!